Cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here where we talk everything Milan. You got more on your side over there, Steve. Where we talk everything Milan from Serie A, third place Serie A.
Fourth place.
Going to third place. Much more feasible Champions League next year. We're going to cross our fingers in that upcoming Coppa Italia. And well, we're not professionals.
Nor do we pretend to be.
First and foremost, welcome to the Team Pixel. Steve's got a brand new Pixel. He's part of the team now. And we had a lot of things going on during the last week, Steve. We had a beautiful, beautiful win there at Atalanta. But before we get into that, you know, guys, there's been a lot of rumor and innuendo about the president. Presidente was feeling down on his luck. I don't want to do the presidential points anymore.
Maybe the people are finding it stale.
You know, that's what he only gave us 3 of them last week. So before Steve puts us in perspective on how these presidential points came to be, to our friend Ian on Twitter that tweeted out, also, please keep the Presidente's legend alive. Give the people what they want. There are millions of us. Ian, we know. Presidente needs to hear this once in a while. So we tell Presidente, Presidente, you're a legend. You're mythical. This mythical figure.
You're like the Oracle.
It's like so, Steve, when you spoke to him and told him all this stuff, right? So you're just gonna put us exactly in perspective of how these 6 presidential points came to be. Please, Steve, enlighten us and our listeners and viewers.
So presidential points 1 to 6 came about basically with this fantastic holiday of Valentine's that passed us.
Okay.
Now, obviously, Presidente does not go out on Valentine's Day.
No.
He goes either after or before.
Okay.
Presidente, he was preparing for before. But this year he said, down on his luck, he said, we're going to stay in.
You wanted to do something romantic at home?
Yeah, we want to do something romantic at home. And of course, guys, he basically was down in the basement, his glorious basement. What better way to put himself, because he's learning from me now, into perspective. He whipped out those 1984 VHS customized for the Presidente.
1984.
1984.
So he found the VHS player.
VHS player. Zenith.
Top loading VHS.
Top loading with remote cord.
No wireless remote control for Presidente. The corded remote. Okay, so.
And the first one that he picked out, it was almost like it was destiny, Vinny. It was his wedding video.
This is when this is 84. When people are coming out with the big baskets in the hall. Marcello's got a full set of hair.
And they opened the bar with the coconut, with the dry ice inside. We did not touch any of the fruits inside, guys. But as this song came on, and it was for him and his wife, and as this song was playing, guys, the points just popped in, and he still felt the confetti roll down his back.
When they used to drape both.
And he collected every penny. Okay, so they threw rice, and not the cheap rice, Vinny. They threw the rice.
But
they threw the confetti. There was no spray in those days. They threw those. There was no poppers. There was the old ladies, the plastic saran wrapped coil that it was probably 14 years old, and it broke apart, and there was all kinds of chemicals that were in his body that night, and this is what gave him the presidential points 1 to 6, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's episode.
Stevie P, thank you very much. Thank you for putting us exactly in that moment.
In the moment.
In how those 6 presidential points came in, and with the musical background to help you guys as well to be in perspective. And Ian, that was for you because we need to keep the legend alive.
Rock on.
President. So before we get into these presidential points, before we get into the Twitter questions, guys, Steve, first of all, happy birthday.
The greatest Italian player of all time.
Don't add us. He is Il Divino Codino. Happy birthday, Bobby Baggio.
52.
52. Well, you could probably still play.
Guaranteed.
Brescia. Saturday's game. Nice little bunch at the bar, watching the game. Steve, I think you could probably speak.
Fucking-tastic game.
Probably speak for everybody out there, but who in their right mind would say, yeah, we're winning 3-1 this game or we're going to dominate the game?
No, we don't do that anymore.
A pleasant surprise. I think Piontek scoring that goal at the very last end of the first half, that made a huge change. A huge change on how the game went. We're going to talk about
It was a
Chalon.
weak first goal.
It was weak?
Atalanta's first goal.
Oh, yeah, Atalanta. Yeah, okay. But, sorry, I got to put this on silent over here, but I think coming in from a goal like that, correct? And I don't think at the moment, like everybody was, celebrating, but we didn't realize how beautiful was that goal. And then, of all people, scoring a doozy of a goal, Çalhanoğlu, and then just, closing down that game, which we've been talking about, that we've had difficulties doing in the past. And
put your foot on the neck and kill it.
And we needed to win, right? Roma won today. Lazio just seems that they have the Roma syndrome. Now they're just dropping these points left, right, and center.
They have a bit of Milan syndrome too. Half their team is hurt.
That's true. So, Steve, what we're going to do like last time, we're going to go a bit of presidential points, a bit of the Twitter questions, and whoever was not making fun, but questioning Kessi's performance on the game, saying that maybe the Atalanta goal was his fault. Did you guys not see him run that game? Back and forth. Now, no, I have no problem with Kessi, and I'm gonna stick to that, right?
Team Kessi, right here. Team Kessi. Team Frank.
And kudos to him, right, for telling everybody that why he didn't go back to number 19. We finally got his answer because he didn't want his fans to go out and spend more money for a 79, where maybe Jan from the club would have just put like a little stripe there and put like 7.
Jan's got a Transformer jersey.
There we go. Chapter number 1, guys. Piontek mania. Il Pistolero has galvanized.
Whoa.
Guys.
Big words.
You see how those presidential points came back to him? Galvanized the Milan fan base with his wonderful goals and his pistol celebration. It has been... He's very PG. He doesn't want a gun celebration.
No,
Pistol. It has been such a long time that the new Milan player has such an impact so quickly upon his revival. So question, what was the last player, Steve, you remember Milan signing that had such an immediate impact like Piontek? And you can't say Borini.
Cannot say Borini. Are we going like in history or we're going like the last one that I remember? Because it's Ibra.
I think I was going to say the exact same thing because from what we remember, because can we really remember Inzaghi's first outing or Shevchenko's first outing?
Sheva was we didn't know what we were getting, right? We were getting a young kid from the Ukraine that was a mean striker, a mean number 9.
Would you maybe go on the Ibra, maybe Pato? Because Pato, we weren't expecting that much from him, and he did
but we didn't. It fizzled out, right? There wasn't a long-standing effect that he had on the club.
Yeah. So far so good for Piontek, but for that I would probably say Ibra. That a game changer, the way he's been in the last what has it been now? What Coppa Italia? 4 games, 5 games?
Yeah.
So no, definitely Ibra comes straight to mind from over there, and hopefully he continues, right, guys? Because as easy come, easy go. So we don't want to jinx it.
But even again, though, it's a tough question because let's face it, guys. We signed Ibra. We knew what we were getting.
That's true.
We signed Inzaghi. We knew what we were gonna get. If I go back to someone who, we signed Pato. We kind of knew what we were gonna get too because. Yes, he was young, but we knew. I personally had the chance to see him in the U20, the World Cup that happened here in Montreal, and I was delighted. I was just very excited to see him play and what he did at that age group. But someone who came from nowhere and made an impact like that, then we have to go with Kaká. Kaká was someone who we didn't know what we were gonna get. Similar to what's happening now with Paquetá, but Kaká was unbelievable.
Yeah, to like a world class kind of coming out of nowhere, and we didn't pay much for him. Did we pay like 70 million for him or something like that?
We even probably traded a chicken or two for that.
Chapter number 2: Gattuso mistakes. In an interview with Sky Sport following Saturday's match, Maldini said the following about Gattuso. Going from player to coach is not easy. Not everyone succeeds. Rino listens to our advice even when he is not in agreement. Having debates is healthy. It opens up the mind. The team is listening to the coach who is learning from his mistakes. So question to you, Steve. What if anything, have you noticed Gattuso changed the past few games which might explain which mistakes Maldini was referring to?
It's a tough question because he's kind of lived with that 4-3-3 formation with we're starting constantly the 11 guys. In terms of changes, maybe
would you say the changes that he hasn't been like waiting?
He hasn't been waiting as long. I'm happy to not see the Paqueta out, Borini in change, at a la Mr. Bonetti, who called that a la Nostradamus style.
Yeah.
I have to say, look, to be honest, it's a very hard question again. I don't know, the Presidente, those VHS tapes, who knows what the hell happened there. Like, we don't read them before, guys, so I'm not even prepared for things like that.
You know what it was? He was like, you want presidential points?
Yeah.
Presidential points? I'm going to give you presidential points.
But I think it's more mentality-wise, in my opinion. Never give up. To me, guys, the last couple of games, it seems like we've had a completely different team.
Would you say
we're gonna touch on Chanalobulu after?
Would you say, in a way, Steve, maybe the consistency of whether it be the starting 11 or even the changes? It seems like the changes have always been the same kind. Like we don't have like the Laxalt showing up out of nowhere or the I don't know. It just seems like now. This is since January. You know, Paqueta in the midfield. We're gonna get into that as well. But the consistency of the players not having any injuries obviously helps.
That helps.
Or I would probably say like helping them mentally, like trying to ride the wave. We've been doing bad, okay, from going from knocked out to the.
If I would have to guess,
yeah,
I would think that they're talking about tactical mistakes, which unfortunately we're not privy to.
No. So that's the. Sorry, I gotta fill up this beer here.
This guy's filling up. He's
refilling
up his own beer with his own beer.
Well, it's expensive.
I would say they're tactical, Vinny. To be very honest, they're tactical mistakes that myself, yourself, probably...
We're not professionals.
We're not professionals, and I'm not going to pretend that I know exactly what these mistakes are. But
having a guy like Paqueta at Piatek up front allows you to, tactically make maybe those calls on the pitch, and those guys, it's working.
The thing is that, guys, we have to put everything into perspective. If you would have started the season and you would have said, you know what, you're going to make 2 moves in the winter transfer, where traditionally I'm saying now, guys, don't go crazy with the Stevie wrong and go Google whatever it is. The winter transfer is to fill in spots where you're a bit weak.
An injury.
And to help you out.
Or if you need a goal scorer like Chelsea and bring in Higuain.
Exactly. These were 2 moves where, unfortunately, they came out of nowhere to everybody. Don't tell me that you knew who Paqueta was. And please don't tell me that you knew that in 6 games you're going to score 5 goals, pistolero style, Pa, 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 pa,
It makes
If we make the Champions League, guys.
We're still with the if.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the if till the end because you never know what's going to happen. It's going to be the winter transfer of all winter transfers because it completely did a 360 to this team.
No, 100%. And I think honestly, there's a lot of mental in here that we do not see behind closed doors, and you can see, even Chanogo when he scored that goal, where did he go? He was just telling you, "Don't fucking touch me." He's running straight into Gattuso. Those are things nice to see. Nice to see, even like in the previous games where he wasn't scoring and people, trying to bring up his spirits, but. Definitely tactically, but we're not professionals.
Are we going to address this elephant in the room?
There's an elephant.
There's an elephant in the room.
Go right ahead.
And I'm not saying me. I'm big. I'm not big as an elephant.
Yeah, but you've been doing the keto. Look at you. What are you? A size 36 now?
No, not even close. I was 36 in like 5th grade. Let's go to Chanalobulu. Because I know I've been very, very hard on him, and I'm going to continue to be hard on him, and I'm going to stick with it. It's 1 goal, guys.
Yes.
It's 1 goal. For me, I cannot forget the first half plus of the season where we did absolutely nothing. We're not getting. And let me put it out there. I have nothing against the guy. I just think that
Don't say that. That's it. The curse is over.
The curse is over. This is gonna be it's gonna be a ride for everybody. It's gonna be up and down.
And guys, we said it. I even said to Steve when Piontek came off the first game and he scored. I'm like, okay, it's a goal, guys.
Yeah.
Relax, right? Let's see what consistency. If he comes, it was a beautiful goal, fantastic, right? And the joy and hopefully mentally, it's just like when Higuain wasn't scoring all those last games. Would we have said, oh, he scores a goal, that's it, it's over, we're back on track? It's the same kind of principle from over there.
And Chanalobulu, to be very honest with you, against Atalanta, played a very good away game. It was a tough game for him.
Yeah.
In the chat, our Montreal Milan club member chat,
Quite the chat.
People were foreseeing an important goal, and this was an important goal.
Yeah.
But for me, it doesn't change the season he's had.
You're basically answering Alessandro at Egg and Pancakes on the Twitter machine that he had said, I cannot wait for this week's podcast. That is Stevie P. If you'll know that Hakan got that goal we all have been waiting for, can you call Tommy and ask him too? He was livid last week, so yes, we'll do that later.
Call Tommy.
But the Çalhanoğlu, we're very happy for him. But guys, let's be.
I want him to succeed.
We all want him to succeed,
but we cannot ignore the first half of the season.
No.
It was that bad.
No, it was.
And I said terrible, and it was terrible. It was the first half of the season that was terrible. It's his first goal, guys. He's wearing the 10 of Milan.
He hasn't scored since last May.
Let's put it into perspective. He's wearing the 10 of Milan. Gullit, Savicevic, so on, Seedorf, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
The 10, guys. The 10. He's got one goal.
Hopefully.
I'm going to just, off the top of my head, probably has like 3 assists.
Probably.
That's not enough, guys.
No. So it's a good sign, but we need consistency, right? So we'll go from over there.
A little bit more positive. We got to talk about number 19's positioning. He's an animal in the box. He seems to be in the right place at the right time all the time.
And it just seems like he's we talked about Ibra before, but it's just like that eye for goal where I'm sorry, guys, he had no business scoring that goal.
No.
How did he the roll off the leg? But that's
that's a finisher's goal.
Yeah, that's a completely finisher's goal, and it was fantastic to see.
It's nice to see from someone who was saw a tweet playing in the 4th division maybe 2-3 years ago in the Polish league, and now is playing with AC Milan. Some of the Juventine and Fiorentina were not going to say that Milan's a prestigious club anymore.
Yeah.
We're going to say they're a prestigious club,
Of
course. And, of course, he's playing for a prestigious club now like Milan.
Exactly. Speaking of, we're talking about tactics and Gattuso, and I kind of like this question from at Squans21, Santo Canale.
Squans? Wanda? Wanda? Oh, no, sorry.
We're going to get into that later, obviously.
It just came out of my mouth. Wanda.
How should Gattuso use Bilia when he's fit to play in games?
Wanda's going to be hard to... Bilia, sorry.
Bilia.
It's stuck in my head, this Wanda.
But, Steve, okay, I know we have Coppa Italia. We're playing Friday, correct, against
He's got to find a way. Gattuso has 2 jobs now. 1, find a way in games to play Cutrone and Piontek at the same time. The second job is rotating players. Bilia, guys, he's got to find some spot here. We need a calming presence in the Bakayoko has been having, I'm going to take credit for it, after I ripped him, start to play well. It's working as well.
Top 3 in recovered balls, I think, in Europe or something.
Those are stats. We don't care about stats.
But okay, so let me ask you this. We both agreed that a Bilia, Paqueta, Bakayoko, which would mean Kessie would sit. Or how's this? In what situation would you take out Paqueta, put in Bilia for that defensive thing, right? Do you obviously if you're trying to protect a lead but Bilia has the experience, and I don't think Bilia is going to go, I'm just going to be there and ride the bench, and whenever you need me.
You can find a way. The formation is going to have to change. Biglia will be inserted when they decide that they're gonna want to play two holding midfielders right in front of that defense.
There we go. So thank you for that question.
Put it Biglia, Bakayokoko, Biglia and Kessie, all three at the same time. Pakata non si tocca.
Before we get into back to chapter 3, do you want to call her friend?
It's Tommy time.
No, our other friend.
Oh, we want to call the snake.
Guys, it's because we
You
like.
want me to call him? Or no?
You call.
No,
you
you're
call.
connected to the
Oh
thing.
yeah, I'm connected to the thing. Hold on. You think he's gonna answer?
I don't know if he's
We were trying to Francis.
Wanda.
He's a snake. Let's see if he answers.
This is a guy fresh back from Vegas. We're gonna leave him a message.
Why is he calling me?
Why is this guy calling?
You've reached
Oh.
Francisco Giacomo.
Hey, Squeaky! This is Wanda.
It's Wanda. We want you to call us back.
We want you to call us back.
We're live on the
Live on
podcast. We want to get a snake's opinion.
on Wanda. And
We'll
Icardi.
stop the podcast just for you. So
Yeah.
you call us back. You call us back. Okay, bye.
That's what we do here, live.
At this point, do we give him 2 minutes to call us back? Or do we call Tommy right away?
Tommy time. We go to Tommy time.
Tommy. I'm gonna let you ask him some questions.
No, I don't like. I just like listening to him talk.
You just like listening to him.
I'm not a questions guy. I answer.
We're gonna ask him about Chalon.
Yeah.
All right.
And now, guys, tonight Tommy's got some instructions.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening,
Good
Mr.
evening.
Tommy. How are you?
Good, you?
We're very good. We're very good. You sound splendid over
Yeah.
here with this beautiful sound quality. Even though Presidente is trying to make you buy $2,000 microphones, you sound like an angel. Beautiful, beautiful.
I just wanted to say that I'm very happy tonight.
Well, go ahead and
Very happy. Perché il Milan finalmente sta a 2 punti dall'Inter.
yes.
And I'm gonna, I know, we're 4 points away from Inter, and I can tell you one thing. Milan will clinch third place.
Guys, you've heard it
We're
here
here
first. Tommy's saying we're clinching
And
third.
if Napoli doesn't pay attention, we might even sneak up second.
Whoa.
Bold words, guys.
Bold
words,
words.
bold predictions from Tommy. But Tommy, I know you're very happy, and it was a good result, and you were there with us on Saturday. But Steve, right
But
now,
didn't I mention that Milan was going to win?
yes, you did.
Everybody was saying that Milan was going to tie. It was going to. What did I tell you last week?
You're right.
I said Milan was going to win. I was close. I didn't say 3-1, but I said 2-1.
He's right. I gotta give him that, guys. But Tommy, what the Twitter universe wants to know, because we got asked a question, was what does Tommy think about Çalhanoğlu? That you were very harsh on him last call. What do you think after his goal?
It's still un fantasma. He
Fantastic.
just had that one chance, and he put it in.
So
That could have happened to anybody.
So how many games in a row does he have to have a great performance for you to say, okay, he's back?
Well, look, Çalhanoğlu is not a goal scorer, okay? So I don't expect him to score a goal every game or a goal every 3 games. But at least show that you make your presence be felt on the field. And from now to the end of the year, when you're playing, make your presence be felt by the opposition team, or else we're playing like a 10 against 11 every game.
So basically, like it's not a goal scoring thing. Like just not your presence being felt, be felt. There we go. That's your vocabulary according to Tommy. But Tommy,
Get rid of it.
okay. So Tommy's saying
You
get rid-
have
So
you have the opportunity. Actually, they said it when I was reading La Gazzetta dello Sport on Sunday, that if Milan clinches the Champions League, they have $100 million to invest, and they're thinking about getting Barella, and getting Chiesa, which I think that's phenomenal. Two young Italian prospects coming back to the legend team, a legendary team.
Well,
Not Chafar, the French guy from France. Let it be these English. No. Go get your young prospects. Make them go on a legendary team. That's how Milan will be good, better going back to the top, and Italy too, quite frankly.
so Tommy believes in the youth system. I have no problem with that, but I think there's one final question that is on everybody's mind. Tommy, please
Yes, sir.
don't hold back. But are you looking forward to Juventus Atletico?
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. And you know what? In Champions League, I root for everybody that goes against Juventus. And if you're telling me I'm an anti-Juventino, yes, I'm an anti-Juventino. Perché a me la Juve mi fa schifo. Tutti quanti della Juventus mi fanno un gran schifo. I hate that. I can't stand them.
So it's Go Atletico this coming week, yeah?
Yes, go Atletico.
I have a question for you,
All the
Tommy.
way. And I hope Juventus get booted on. If Atletico can do it, may the next team do it.
What about this, Tommy? Let's say.
Because let me tell you something.
Oh, you don't want to do it.
Like I said it last week, and I'll say it again.
Take the show, Tommy.
How many times have Juventus been in Champions League? Maybe over 30 times, that's for sure.
Possibly.
They robbed 2 cups. They haven't won 2 cups. The first one was robbed. Everybody saw it, and everybody knows, because of the tragedy that happened in Belgium. And the second one, they won it on penalties again,
So
with the help of a ref.
Steve has a question for you. Steve, what do you have for Tommy before we let him go?
Tommy, let's say, hypothetically speaking, there would be a final. Inter Juve for the Champions League.
Shit.
I will take for Inter. I full.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Yes.
But not like you wouldn't cheer Inter on.
Yes, I would. If that would be the case, then I would have to pick between Inter or Juve. I would pick Inter.
Ooh.
You know what? That's a fantastic question for Twitter for next week.
Yeah.
Where do you guys stand on Tommy?
That's for
Tommy,
Milan
Because
Twitter.
let me tell you something, in Italy, la bestia nera del Milan non è l'Inter. La bestia nera del Milan è la Juve. And if you're a real Milanista, but a true Milanista, you can never cheer for Juventus. When you have red and black in your veins, you can't cheer white and black. L'Inter, it's déjà vu. L'Inter we don't even see them. They're not even in our league.
all right.
And
So
believe me more, L'Inter has won more cups, more Champions League than Juventus. L'Inter has 3 Champions League cups. Juventus only has 2. So they even have a better track record than my Juventus.
so
So Juventus is, they're good in Italy. They could be like in Rosenborg in Norway. They could win all the championships. But fuori dall'Italia è un gran zero.
guys,
It's a big zero.
we're gonna leave you on that, and I'm very curious to see where do you stand with Tommy. Would you cheer Juve? Would you cheer Inter? Tommy, thank you very much for being always at our disposal right there,
Yeah.
answering phone calls, and people were asking for you on the Twitter machine. So thank you for answering, and have yourself a wonderful night.
Well, you know what? I thank you guys, and I thank you for the podcast and everything, because it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure always discussing with you guys.
Tommy time, ladies and
Tommy
gentlemen.
time, guys. Thanks, Tommy. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Have a good night. Ciao.
You hear it here, guys.
I'm sorry,
Tommy time.
guys. No, I can't. I would.
No.
There's one team I would never. And Tommy's is entitled to his
Yeah.
opinion, and he definitely hates Juve. But no, guys, I'm sorry.
I'm
There's
not
one
watching
team.
that final, that's for sure.
I'm not, and I'm not gonna cheer anybody on. There's no way in hell, I'm going for Inter. Juventus, I always had a respect for them. Obviously, as they've been the best team in Serie A, you always have that hatred for them. But no, and I'm curious to see what would the Twitter machine
President, put out a poll.
put out a poll, Presidente. Chapter number 3. Paquetá. Piontek Mania has overshadowed the...
Paquetá. Oh yeah.
Piontek Mania has overshadowed the positive impact Paquetá has made in the midfield. While the glory usually goes to the goal scorers, an argument could be made Paquetá, who plays his best match for Milan so far, deserved the man of the match award against Atalanta. While we expected Paquetá to show his technical skill with the ball typical of Brazilian players, how surprising are you well this young man has played defensively? The way he's adapted, Steve.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's surprising because you always you always think, oh, time to adapt. You haven't played in Serie A yet. You're from a Brazilian league, it's different. But honestly, like I have nothing to say bad about the guy.
No, but guys, we have to remember too, it's not Joga Bonito Brazil anymore, guys. You have Neymar with the fancy tricks, but everybody else, Joga Bonito, unfortunately, it's just. It's too hard. It's too hard to have that flair anymore for 90 consecutive minutes and offense. Brazil had to morph as well.
Which I didn't have a problem with him being subbed out to us for the first couple of games in the 65th.
Not for Borini. I don't have a problem with him being subbed out, but not for Borini, that's for sure. That's what pissed me off.
But we didn't push too much. We wanted to put him in because it was a very high investment for us, right?
And there's language too. I'm pretty sure he's not. He's got to pick up the Italian right away. Piontek too. It's enough with these fancy headsets that try and Google Translate what people are saying. I want to hear him talk Italian.
They probably have Pixel 3s translating
guaranteed.
from over there. But no, definitely, I think. But I think with Piontek coming in, maybe taking away the pressure from a signing. Imagine he was the only $35 million signing during the winter. Maybe more pressure on him. But at least will allow us to rotate a lot better in the midfield. So we'll see from over there. I just refreshed the Twitter come si dice hashtag.
Yeah.
And buonasera, Milan Weekly Pod.
Boom. Adriano and the Calcio guys.
What a nice guy.
Gotta listen to their podcast too, guys.
He's the president in training.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
He's the sometimes acting president because president obviously doesn't show up at events unless it's something very important, and that's how he keeps the mystique, guys.
Yeah.
That's what you don't understand. With Suso suspended for the Empoli game, which formation would you work best, and should a rotation of players be necessary to get the W? Also, should Cutrone be seeing more minutes, or should Milan continue riding this good chemistry? First question, which formation would work best, and should a rotation of players be necessary to get the W? This is where I'm scared, guys, because we've seen it how many times in the past, Steve, that we won these great games. We're gonna go play Spal, we're playing Empoli, we're playing a Catania, we're playing, and then what happens, right? We always. I have no problem with the rotation. Just don't change everything.
We're not in a position to underestimate anybody.
No. So Suso is suspended. Going with the two strikers, like a 4-4-2. I'm just too afraid of I'm just too afraid of the injury, and I don't think a team like Empoli. We would have to, put out two strikers from over there. Maybe put a Castillejo instead of Suso.
He could keep it the same. He could go to two holding midfielders if he wants, and keep the one striker up top by himself. Guys, this is where Gattuso's going. There's a couple of Gattuso questions that we're gonna get to. For me, it's games like this where he's gonna have to adjust either before the game or in game. We've talked about it multiple times. In-game adjustments is probably even more crucial than what you see at the beginning.
Which he seems to have been doing very well in the last couple of them, right? Or maybe they're just listening to more. Maybe was Higuain that much of a problem that he just wasn't listening to directions, And to his question about Cutrone, should be seeing more minutes, or should Milan continue riding the good chemistry? What are you counting on?
No. 4, 2, 3, 1. That's the formation I want to see.
I think Cutrone, we should keep doing exactly what we're doing. Super sub, guys, he's still 20 years old. Let's not rush it. We have a pure goal scorer in Piontek right now. I'm sure, Cutrone could maybe, give him a start against...
I'm going to question this question.
Oh.
Let's say we end up playing better with Suso out of the lineup than in the lineup.
Put the foot down. Now we're talking about playing Empoli.
We talked about it last week.
Who's going to be replacing him?
Chanalobulu gets a whole bunch of crap shit out of him. And I'm the first one to do it. But Suso, again against Atalanta, nowhere to be seen. Tommy says Chanalobulu Fantasma. I'm going to give the unpopular opinion that for the last 6 games, we have Suso as a Fantasma too.
He's been a Fantasma, but I don't think, let's say, Castillejo would come in and he would have a fantastic game. I think the fact that we'd be playing Empoli would have a big factor in that decision making. Now, the other side is at least you know that you have an option. I don't think we've seen enough of Castillejo to really judge him on his. I think his heart. We can see definitely he's got great heart, and he shows a lot. Especially, I remember the Europa League game where he took a blatant red card because out of frustration. We're like, good for you, man, good for you. But I don't see even if Castillejo came on and started the game, scored 2 goals. I still don't see how he would bench Suso.
They're not gonna take him out.
Keep talking. I got more beer.
Gattuso rolled the dice with Chanalobulu, and against Atalanta, and I'm not afraid to say it, it worked out for him.
Yeah, definitely.
He scored the winning goal. It was an important goal. I think it was Mehdi who Nostradamus that one for us.
Definitely, and Presidente was trying to steal his thunder.
Yeah, of course.
But thank you for those questions. Marco Pazzia,
another fellow Pineapple Express.
I may be jumping the gun, but do you guys think Piontek will become Milan's next 40 classe? It's unbelievable how he has transformed Milan. By the way, all his goals have come from the left side. Interesting take from over there. Will he become Milan's next 40 class? I think it's very, very, very early.
You didn't jump the gun. You just really
you
overshot the gun. You hopped the gun. They put you in a rocket, Marco, and they shot you like 100 feet past the gun.
I love his enthusiasm.
Yeah.
But I think it's way too fast to declare such a thing, and maybe because
my standards of world class and 40 class is wow.
It's top 10 in the world.
Yeah.
Guys, let's put it this way: you're 40 class, but so far so good, right? Milan legends.
The legends.
Milan legends. He likes.
Yeah.
He wants to stick. Because him behind all his questions, right? He's not asking the question because he wants an answer. He just wants us to debate.
Yeah. Good.
Right. Because he asks us again. Do you feel like Gattuso has redeemed himself? Can we safely say that he's a
And
Champions
on the Milan
League?
chat, the Milan Club member chat, Presidente tried to answer this question before it got on air, and I promised, because that's how I deliver legends, that we would talk about this on the show.
Presidente likes to sometimes take too much.
Yeah, he wants to control.
Right?
He's gonna
Stay
make
mythical, Presidente.
I'm sorry, I'm scratching my shin.
Can we safely say that he is a Champions League coach material?
No.
I think we should be able to answer that question after like 4 or 5 games into the Champions League.
Exactly. Yeah. Well said.
Because even bringing you to the Champions League by the end of the season, that doesn't prove anything. Because you know that it's a completely different monster.
Yeah.
Champions League, the teams that you're going to be facing, guys. Let's be honest here. I know it was months ago, but we weren't able to get out of a group with Olympiacos, Dude Lounge, and Real Betis.
Yeah.
So, I think it's in the right path, but no, I think it would have to be like if he would come out of a tough group stage, I would start believing that he is a Champions League caliber coach.
Yeah, and I would go even a little bit step further. If it would be a tough group that we would be in the Champions League, if we make it, I'm still sticking with the if, guys, he would have that opportunity to have seen these teams somehow. When we're going to say, in theory, they're in the Champions League, but let's say we're going to say like weaker teams, maybe you haven't seen these teams before. And the coaches have seen you much more times than you have seen them. Just because of the type of league that they're playing, they're probably already in a Champions League, or they know they're going to get a Champions League spot. You are concentrating on the season and don't have a lot of time to think about the Champions League and who you're going to be facing. There's a lot of factors, and he should be one to know because he actually played in the Champions League and also won it 2 times.
Very well said. Thank you, Milan Legends, for that question. And yes, we're always going to promise we're going to answer you. President is not the boss of us. well,
He is the boss.
in reality is the but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. His last presidential point, because one of them was about Hakan, obviously, where we're going to get into the other one. The Milan news kit with, thank you, Adriano, that actually sent us that the score on one of the applications here in Canada actually posted your post, probably, from the leaked jerseys for next season. And if I'm not mistaken, Steve, maybe correct me, that site, it's always correct. Every time every time that they post a picture of a third kit. But
Look,
somehow
correct. I'm not gonna say live on the podcast it's always correct, but they're pretty damn close.
let's just go with the home kit, 51%, because Presidente made a poll.
Yeah,
Right?
of course.
51% said loved it, 35 said okay. So in reality, 86% were favorable and only 14% was said terrible. I love that. I love that. For me, I love that thin stripe. I love that year after we won the Scudetto, the Ibra. I like it. I just don't like the round neck, but I don't hate it. But I like it.
I don't hate it. I don't just. We're not thin.
I'm not gonna splash.
We're thick
money.
stripes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna splash money for.
I'm a
something like
traditionalist.
that.
What about the other kids?
We'll have to go through the other kids.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
well, so
the
many
next one.
questions. We're already
Okay.
40 minutes in, you know? Because you're always going to go with the home kit. That's the way I look at it. Alex Cardone, one of the half of the Twin Towers, him and his father, they could be professional wrestlers, if you ask me, like Undisputed Era from NXT. All right? Now, Steve has no idea what I'm talking about, but it's all good. With Caldara currently training and set to be back on the roster in late February, how would you implement him and into the team?
Slowly.
Honestly, guys,
Can't touch Musacchio and Romagnoli.
we haven't seen a single minute of Caldara other than that game with Italy, I
Yeah.
believe. And
Where he got hurt.
where at this point, slowly but surely, if you could come in, like people saying, oh, Capital, but if you make it to the semifinals and to the finals, you're going to put Caldara right over there?
I don't have a problem with that, though. I
No?
don't have a problem with that.
Why?
Because my goal is not Copitale. It would be nice to win a cup, but I want to make the Champions League.
So the rotation to Steve is more important. But no, I think we're both on that one slowly because we don't want to screw up. Because in the end, Steve, if we do crunch a bit of numbers, Caldara cost us 40 million. Think about it, guys. 40 million for Bonucci, we got him back. You know, if whatever money we spent for Higuain to pay him, that's gone, right? But if we do the straight swap, it costs us 40 million for Caldara. So let's take our time. I like your input on that one. Ian, again, that wanted us to keep the legend of the Presidente alive. How do we feel about rotating a few players Friday in preparation for the Coppa Italia? Maybe something like Conti finally getting the start to rest Calabria. I have no problem with that. Plus a few others. Nothing crazy, but if we reach Champions League, this will become a reality. So let's talk about that.
Ian is
Conti,
spot on.
Conti for Conti for Calabria, 100%.
No
Cutrone for Piontek, I have no problem with that. Give him some minutes. What else would you do? I wouldn't take out Rodriguez for Laxalt, but Rodriguez has played every single game, Steve.
It's okay. He plays that type of game where he's there.
Would you rest Çalhanoğlu?
No, Çalhanoğlu has to play now. You can't. He just scored a goal. The worst thing you could do with you suffered with him when he played shit. He actually did something good against Atalanta. He's got to play.
Do you continue with the Bakayoko and Kessie? Huh? How long do these guys got to go?
That's where
the Bilio might come
Ian
in?
is spot on. The rotation is going to be very, very important to our success in making the top 4 spots. To give adequate rest to your best 11. I'm pretty sure right now he knows who his best 11 are. We've seen it.
Yeah. But
now it's finding rest for them.
We like the rotation, but don't pull a dude lounge where we rotated 10 players out of 11.
Can't.
And to Mr. Zahab Hazim, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Same question, right? Musacchio and Romagnoli looking good and built the chemistry every week. Should Caldara be immediately brought into 11 and not disrupt this partnership? So honestly, it's very slowly, and I would probably go into Coppa Italia games or these. Unfortunately, even though we're not safe from anybody, I wouldn't put him on against, the Sette Signorini. Would it be from a Juventus to Roma, Fiorentina? I wouldn't put him on.
It's a delicate dance. It's a delicate dance because injuries do happen in this sport.
Mm-hmm.
We're not. We went through an injury. I want to call it debacle. Where we had almost everybody injured,
Mm-hmm.
and the problem was that No, the problem or lack thereof, the problem was we needed to insert players who weren't used to playing with his preferred 11.
Yeah.
And if you don't rotate with the players in his preferred 11, you end up plugging in people who don't have a partnership right now. Right now, the Romagnoli Caldera, as much as we want to believe will be the partnership of the future, is not a partnership because they haven't even shaken hands probably because he got hurt. But you need to rotate properly to be successful, or in injury or in rest.
Look who replied over here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Who's that?
The snake Wanda.
The snake, yeah? You still have not answered my question on Milan spending 70 million on two players that have drastically changed this team despite
Presidente
being...
put on
I want me, the Presidente...
accountant hat. Boom!
The FP is a final objective, not immediate, and he's giving numbers. He had nothing to answer, Francis, from over there, right? And John Lamorte asked the same thing about the Gattuso, which we've answered there. You want to try calling from your phone? You think he's gonna answer from your phone?
Maybe we can try.
We'll try, because I'm going through all these different guys. We're gonna go through our Biroshkin in our indigestions of the week. But there's a gentleman here that wanted to ask us, Mr. Discepolo di Pirlo.
Oh,
So we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait until he answers.
This guy's sleeping.
Yeah.
Hey!
Oh, so he answers when it's you calling. He doesn't
Hey!
answer me, huh?
Tomorrow on the Metro, you can listen to yourself live on the podcast.
You're serious?
Yes.
I left you a message. Okay, let me call you back because I have the speaker connected. I'll call you
Answer
right back.
Vince's phone now. Answer.
Call me
Ciao.
back.
Ciao.
Bye.
Guys, this
The
is
snake is on.
there's a
The
brand new
snake is
segment.
on.
He's probably all sleeping and everything.
Yeah, now he's
Hello?
putting on his
Okay,
goggles.
guys. So right now, who's on the line is the original cast member of Red Card Weekly back in the day. Yes, he's a snake. He's an Interista, and he's gonna be part of our first segment of Let's Make Fun of Inter. So, Francis, welcome, Mr. Colo Giacomo,
Thanks, guys. I'm glad to be doing this again. It's been a long time.
and please, Francis, as we are all laughing at Inter, can you please explain to us why? Who is Wanda? What is she doing? Icardi cannot be your captain. You know, just vent. Do what you gotta do, because even though, you know, you would be a type of guy that would support Zanetti, taking him in the back and slap him out a couple of ones, but what do you do always as a heartfelt Interista?
No, obviously the situation is frustrating. Like, we know what's going on every year. That time of the year, like December, January, like Inter slumps. They get on this like crazy roller coaster. Like, I get that the club has issues with Mauro Icardi and Wanda. I thought they would be discussing the scenes in the background. Do we need this right now? Absolutely not. We haven't secured that.
Oh shit!
He hung up on him. He hung up on
Again
him.
with this button.
We
Make
hung
sure-
up on him. We hung up on him.
You guys all right there?
Sorry about that. This is new technology. So you're saying, like, you know, keeping it in the dressing room. Go on.
No, that's it. So, like, was it the right timing to be doing this? I mean, Inter's fighting for a third spot. They haven't been playing well. It seems Milan found a new way or new wings to get back into this race. The Roma's playing better. Do we need this right now?
But-
So it's really frustrating for the fans right now. We need to secure that Champions League again, right? You need to secure Champions League 3-4 years in a row to be competitive again.
But Francis,
It's just, no, we're starting this again.
Francis, do you think honestly that these problems maybe have started once Wanda became the agent?
Oh, for sure it started a while ago. But now, why do this now? Why deal with this now?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And there's Mike there at Trocharos. I don't know how you would feel about this, but he's saying that the guys in 4 or 5 months from now we're gonna see him with a Juve jersey. What do you say about that?
No, I doubt that. I don't think he would go to Juve. We heard Pepe Marotta today saying that Paratici at Juve was out of hand to speak, saying, "Oh, we're monitoring the Icardi situation." He just turns it on Juve, right? Saying, "What's going to happen with Dybala?" We're also monitoring the situation. So I doubt it. Listen, you could probably go to the Premier League. I think would be a good fit anywhere in the Premier League. Benzema, Real Madrid. Is he still the guy that's going to stick around? Icardi, I think, would also be a good fit there. So there's a lot of possibilities besides Juve, so I'm not worried about him going to Juve.
So in reality, Steve, just the way when people made fun of us when we were out of the Europa League and against Dude Lounge where we had no comeback, France is in the same position. People are making fun of him and his team, and well, he's got nothing to say.
You can't say she's done a number. She's taken a book out of the Mina Riolo playbook.
Did you see her crying on Tiki
Yeah,
Taka?
tiki tac and the pistolero in the back. Ta, 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 ta.
And
But guys, those situations is comical. I mean, couldn't they signed Icardi at some point earlier on, and we could have avoided this whole mess? Like, that guy deserves money. Yes, we all agree on that. Now, how much is he really asking for? Is it that much that they don't want to sign him? They're hesitating. Why can't that deal should have been closed a long time ago, and we could have avoided this whole situation. I mean, so I'm a bit disappointed in terms of our management. I guess it's previous management, the way they handled it before. They let it go to this point. Now Beppe Marotta has shown that he's putting his foot down. He's trying to bring a winning mentality, I guess, to Inter, something that we haven't had in a long time. So.
And thank you for answering Steve's call, but not mine. But now you're being directly live on the show. But how did you like Presidente's answer when you were trying to make fun of us that we spent 70 million with financial fair play? I just saw those tweets. He was giving it to you with numbers, with everything. And I know you may be a little jealous that all of a sudden we're right under you. And Francis, you know what's going to happen. March 17th, that game is going to be for third spot, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
And are we watching it together?
Milan Rome. I mean, it's frustrating as an outsider. Like Inter, Roma, they're all in the same situation. We're fighting, trying to get that top four. Roma and Inter have been strapped for a year, not being able to make big moves. And like Milan just got two players, they invested big money. I mean, $70 million. And these guys have to admit that a direct impact on the team. They changed the team completely. And you're like, but why is Milan allowed to go spend $70 million? And Inter couldn't keep Cancelo for $35 million. You get how frustrating it is for everyone. And now look at Milan. Milan has a good chance if they keep on playing like this. They'll finish third. I mean, they're going to pass Inter. And I thought Roma could catch up to them.
Okay, sure.
Which, like, maybe you would have told me that a month ago, you would have told me the same thing. I would have been laughing at you guys. Like, are you nuts? There's no chance Milan comes back for a top four. So I'm panicking, guys. I really am.
So basically what you're saying is that we're live videoing when we're watching this game together. That's what we're saying.
We'll watch it together. This time it's a promise.
Fantastic. We'll try to get Nima too. Francis, that was Francis Colagiacomo, guys. You have any parting words for your friend over here?
The snakes feel the pitchfork of the devil.
Oh, yeah. All right. Have yourself a good night there, Juan Francino.
Sin City, baby. Sin City. Las Vegas, Nevada. Go get some sleep.
Ciao, buddy.
Ciao, boys. Ciao.
He was very proper. He didn't want to, because Francis,
this is Francis.
If he knew ahead of time, he would have,
he would have got numbers.
Steve, Presidente, gave us his, brioche and indigestion of the week. So we're going to open that up. And guys, I don't know if you remember I loved how, guys, I wish you guys can do this new segment, indigestion. But I love it how he just sends us his. Like, these are going to be your indigestions and your brioches of the week. Is indigestion, which I think I think Presidente hit this one straight on the nail. Shame on the FIGC.
I have my own indigestion.
And Lega Pro that let Pro Piacenza play a Serie C match with Cuneo with only 7 players on the pitch, lost 20-0. I know today they reversed it, 0-3. It's not the result, guys. I think it's just embarrassing about like Italian soccer, letting a team play 7-0 and go up 20-0 from over there.
7 men.
7 men, sorry. It was just like, that was
They had a
pretty embarrassing.
19-year-old coach.
Indigestion to you?
Indigestion to me, guys. I'm going to bring up an unpopular topic, to be very honest with you. Milan Twitter going off on Pirlo visiting Milanello. I know you have your thing.
Let's respond to this question right now.
Yeah.
Let's respond to this question right now. He asked us how we feel about Pirlo. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about Pirlo.
Then I'm going to tell you how I feel about Pirlo.
I'm extremely grateful for what he's done for me.
Oh, this is a curve.
No.
This wasn't the... Hold on a second. This wasn't the conversation that we had before we got on camera.
Hold on. Go. I said, let me start off by saying I'm grateful for what he's done. Pirlo could have gone anywhere when he left Milan. People seem to forget that the Scudetto the 2011, he was injured for 6 months. and we won without him. Now, it was completely wrong to deem him finished. I'm 100% with that. Pirlo could have gone anywhere. He decides to go to Juve, and then stuff from his book talking about Inzaghi or Avaffanculo Galliani for not making me go to Chelsea, this and that. He's not a Milanista, guys. He does not bleed red and black. You're telling me that a guy like Inzaghi or a guy like Maldini would do something like that? No. And I'm not going to put Inzaghi, just Maldini for that matter. So for me, Pirlo, I have no problem coming in, hey, how are you, this and that. But to consider him a red and black legend? No. No. For me, it really pissed me off when he did that. It pissed me off talking about stuff from a locker room in his book. No, I respect you. You're a fantastic player. But no, you're not, to me, you don't bleed red and black because you chose, you could have went anywhere and you went to Juventus. Steve, go.
For me, guys, Pirlo is one of my second favorite player of all time in Serie A. Baggio number 1, Pirlo number 2. Cornerstone of our team. Cornerstone.
I don't disagree with that.
We're bitter. I'm telling you, I was bitter. When I found out that he went to Juve, I was bitter.
Steve, he could have went anywhere.
He could have went anywhere, but he chose.
Why?
Because
to stick it to
they
us.
wanted, but you know what? They deemed him finished.
Steve, he could have went to Chelsea and deemed himself, look, I'm not finished.
They deemed him finished. That was a mistake on our part.
That was Allegri's fault.
Who took him back with open arms at Juve, but that's besides the point. The locker room stuff, guys. If you're not going to write that stuff in your book, you're not going to sell books.
So don't write a book.
So then don't read Totti's book.
Talk about how you won the Champions League.
Don't read Ibrahimovic's book. You want me to continue? Because I read them all.
But Ibrahimovic is not a bandiera or something.
But if you ask Milan Twitter, he's not bandiera because he loves Milan. He says the right things. When it comes to Milan, he's not going to say those right things. Do I say that he's a red and black, he bleeds? No. Am I going to say, can a Juventino say that? But a Juventino will say Baggio is black and white.
But he's not.
But they will say that. Because that's the difference between Juve fans and Milan fans.
But he never turned his back the way he did. Like Pirlo did with Milan.
Baggio left Juve to go play at Inter.
No. That wasn't. It wasn't his decision.
It was whose decision?
This was Pirlo's decision.
No. Hold on. Go back to Baggio. Whose decision was it?
After he did with Juve, even if he went with Inter, right? He already won what he had to win with Juve.
And Pirlo won whatever. Pirlo won more than what he had to win with
Why did
Milan.
he have to go to Juve?
Why did Baggio have to go to Inter?
No, but I don't think it's the
It's
same
the same scenario. Lippi wanted to see the succession of Baggio by Del Piero.
Yeah.
Lippi has traditionally been a very hard-nosed coach when it comes to il fantasista, because they don't fit in his formation. Allegri wanted to see some sort of transition, and I don't even know who he thought was going to transition Pirlo out of this Milan. But that's the decision that he made. That caused him to go to Inter. To Juve. Baggio didn't have to go to Inter. Inter wanted him. Baggio went to Inter.
We're going to be talking about this forever. Like I said, I
People,
respect
guys,
the man.
You guys have to take things. You have to take out sometimes your red and black hat.
You know what my problem is, Steve?
And
I'll tell you
the
truth
player.
what my problem is. I think I was so heartbroken because to me, Pirlo was one of the last ones that could be like not a bandiera a la Maldini or I would say like as an Ambrosini that we ruined Ambrosini by the way, but for the fact that he went there, and I have this feeling that he did it out of spite, which is totally understandable. I get it. No. And for him to say stuff like that in his book, anyways, we're gonna be talking about this forever. Brioche of the week, Presidente talking about the away fans at the Atalanta game, making Piatek feel like it was like Curva Sud. That was his feel-good moment. Do you have any other good feel-good moments of the week?
I feel good for Milan.
Guys, it's a you know what that
My
3-1
brioche
win,
is
that's
Milan.
our
That was
because
a
nobody
3-1
was
win.
expecting that.
Away win at a very tough place to win. A team that beat Juventus.
They did, and if you guys didn't notice, like we told you, like maybe a month ago, Serie A is over. So I don't know if you guys have
Yeah,
noticed by
Napoli
now.
just can't buy a goal anymore.
And Tommy telling us that maybe
Maybe we're gonna go second. We're gonna relax with the second. But I told you guys the slump of Inter was coming. I'm still on it. They squeaked it. They squeaked it this week.
the ninja all of a sudden
Yeah.
he's back to his old self. Guys, we just want to take the time to say thank you to everybody that listens, to tweets at us, that comments, the YouTube. It sounds stupid, guys, but waking up, let's say on Tuesday morning and looking that we're already like at 25, 30 views, it might not sound much to people, but to me, like to us, it means something because some people woke up and go, hey, like and getting these would it be comments from Tapiwa or like guys from the Twitter that you see going whatever. It's like they enjoy it, guys. It really means the world to us. We thank you very, very much. And many things to come. Who knows? And maybe are we doing this live caller kind of? We're gonna have to organize it. People around and let's see if we can call Nima next time. Call Nima.
Poor guy doesn't sleep.
But it doesn't sleep, the poor guy. But ovunque sempre, guys.
Forza Milan!
Ciao.